Hello everyone and welcome back to Tablenauts. My name is Max. Today I wanted to talk to you about my first ever convention experience. Just this past weekend, I was joined by my wife and Doolin's wife to Philadelphia. We went to Pax Unplugged, which is a big board gaming convention, my first convention of any kind. Later in the video, I'm going to talk to you about the favorite games that I played, the new ones that I saw, the people that I met, the food that I ate, so on and so forth. But to start us off, I want to just give you a broad rundown of Pax Unplugged and whether it met my expectations or not. With that being said, I can say for certain that it did not meet my expectations because honestly, I had none. I really didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure what I'd be doing. I had no meetings planned. I had nothing scheduled. I wanted to go into this kind of open and free, my first ever convention, see what I wanted to do, see who I was able to meet, what games I was able to play, and then we're gonna kind of move from there into our next convention with the understanding of what I want to do better. First and foremost, though, it was certainly a little overwhelming. It's this giant convention center, there's people everywhere. I hadn't met many of these people. I barely knew what some of them looked like, and of course we had masks on the entire time. It was really just kind of overwhelming, and I wasn't sure what to do with myself. So I can certainly say that I would have been entirely lost had it not been for my friends Jeff and Jamie at Foster the Meeple, or Ilya and Tyler at Kavre, and Jazz at Lobby of Hobbies. Those groups right there kind of helped me along. They kind of gave me a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging. And so I stuck with them, of course, with Danielle and Emily, and we kind of figured things out as we went. Without them, I'm not sure what I would have done, what I would be doing the whole time. It was kind of just, let's stick with these guys. Let's see if there's anything on the schedule that we want to do. Let's play some games. Let's have some fun, but no real purpose. At least not for the first little bit. One of the things that stuck out to me the most, and I'm so glad that it was this way, and I was hoping it would be, but I was worried that it wouldn't be, is that everyone is just incredibly nice. Now, of course, I've met some of these people before, like Jeff and Jamie, and I've spoken to many of these people before, like Ilya, Tyler, and Jazz, but there are people that I've only talked to on the likes of Twitter or on their live streams or in the YouTube comments that were just so pleasant and so happy to see me and so welcoming, and they wanted a photo and they wanted to talk and how was your week and how was your drive, your flight, whatever. And even though I spoke to some of these people for mere seconds, it was really just a very welcoming and enjoyable experience to know that it wasn't just a tiny little connection over the internet and these people didn't care about me. Like, they did care about me and they did want to talk to me and they did want to hug me and want to play a game, and really that whole everyone's just so kind was very emotional. It was very reassuring, and I was really so happy to get those feelings knocked out of the way and realize that this isn't just fake internet points, right? Like, these are real people that really like you and I really like them. We really want to be friends. Now, before I get into specifics, of course, I'm going to talk about what we did, what we saw, like I said, but I do want to just say that it was very fun. I ended up having a great time meeting all these people, playing all these games, seeing the new hotness, walking the streets of Philly. Even if we didn't eat as much cool food as I wanted, or buy as many games as I wanted, or play as many games as I wanted, it was still such a good time, and it really does make me look forward to many conventions in the future, whether it be OrcaCon or Gen Con or PAX Unplugged 2022, whatever it may be. I did have a really good first convention experience. I'm very much looking forward to convention number 2, 3, 4, until we get into the double digits. And although I won't really touch on them too much in this video, I do intend to upload another video in the future about some specific regrets that I have, some things that I wish I would have done more of or less of or done differently, planned better, whatever it may be. There are some things that I've learned from my first convention experience that I hope to pass along to you, and also to serve as a reminder to myself moving forward of things that I wish I did more of or did better going into OrcaCon and next year's conventions. So to get the ball rolling on some of the specifics, I have a few things jotted down that I do want to talk about. First and foremost being the favorite moments of the convention. And of course there were many. I've narrowed this down to basically 3 moments, but there were so many incredible people and incredible things that these are not going to even remotely scratch the surface of how much fun I had and all the great things that we did. But I just had to pick 3. just to give you a little insight, let you in on what I thought was some of the best experience we had at PAX. So first and foremost, when I first got there, really, I was greeted by Ilya and Tyler and Jeff and Jamie, and Jeff like sprinted across the hall and like jumped into my arms, and I like held him up and we hugged, and that was just so lovely. It made me so happy. I definitely feel like I'm extremely good friends with these people, both Ilya and Tyler, and especially Jeff and Jamie, just because we've talked every day and we share a Discord together, which you should join if you haven't already. But it's still so reassuring and so nice to just have these face-to-face experiences, right? And see that it's not just fake. It's not just being kind over the internet. It's not just using each other as stepping stones. Like, these are genuinely some of the best friends that I've ever had. And so that experience with Jeff just running up to me was just so, it kicked off the weekend so incredibly well. I just knew it was going to be a blast after that. I was so happy to see him, and it was clear the feeling was mutual, and it just made me feel so good. Next on the list, we had a Just One game. More people than Just One even allows for it technically. I believe Just One is a 3 to 7 player game. I think we had 11 of us. This was on Saturday of the convention, and we had kind of posted a little thing in our Discord like, hey, come meet up in the free play area at 3 o'clock if you'd like. There was actually someone I met at the convention, Bryce, who was literally not even a part of the Discord. But I told him, hey, you're a fan of the channel, come hang out, come play games. Of course, Bryce joined the Discord. Bryce was incredibly kind, but hopefully I don't miss anyone there. We were playing Just One, and we had Sarah, also known as Sugakia. We had Kevin, we had Ruby, we had Bryce, we had Danielle, we had Emily, we had Jeff, we had Jamie, we had Michelle, we had Antonio. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. I'm trying to run around the table. We had Jenna, that I almost forgot her. She was sitting right next to me. But it was just so much fun. It was just like a culmination of our Discord, right? Like, we'd had this Discord for a few months. It's grown exponentially quicker than we thought it would. It's been incredibly fun. It's been packed all day long. Our Discord is just flying and growing, and it's just such a fun community of friends. And then we got to actually meet them. There were several of them that were there. There were several that came on Sunday that I didn't even get to see because I had to ditch so early for a 10-hour drive home. But like, it was real. These things weren't just Discord. I know I keep reiterating that point, but this being my first ever convention, it was just made so clear that like, this means something, and we are deserving, and we are a part of something bigger. And it made me feel so good just knowing that I was meeting people from our YouTube channel who watched us, or our Discord who's been talking with us for months, and it was just so fun. Not to mention, the game, Just One, is amazing, and it was hilarious. We had an absolute blast. There were several clues that I would have never gotten. Danielle is the Just One champ because she got the clue grotto. I literally had to Google what a grotto was to even give her a clue. It was just so fun. The game, the company, it was everything I thought it would be. It was everything I wanted it to be, and it is easily one of, if not the best experience of the convention. And lastly, and yeah, I'll readily admit this is pretty selfish of me, but to be quite honest with you, it felt really cool and it felt really good, was just when we were recognized by anyone. Not necessarily people that were in our Discord or people that even came to the meetup, but Bryce was one of them. There's another guy named Robert. There was someone at the Keymaster table at the Keymaster setup who immediately recognized me and told me how much they appreciated our videos and how much they loved it. And like, that just felt so cool. I know it's selfish, I know it's self-absorbed, but having never had that kind of experience before, it really was just like mind-blowing, humbling, emotional. Like, wow, this is so cool that not only do we have an impact on these people, but that they feel so welcomed and so comfortable to open up to me and explain that to me and just say hi. Like, that was so unique, and it was such a good time. Easily one of my favorite things. Had to make the top 3. Moving on from my favorite moments, I want to talk to you about the favorite games that we played. Before I tell you what the favorite game that I played was, I do want to say that we played a fair amount, but we didn't play as much as I wanted. We didn't play a lot of the new stuff, the convention stuff, right? I was able to play Familiar Tales, which is by Plaid Hat, and I was able to play Tidal Blades 2 from Skybound, and I really liked those both, but I don't want to pick them because I only played like an hour of them. I didn't play the full thing, and I do actually want to talk to you specifically about those games in another video because I really dug them, and they're both campaign games, and I want to get into a little more detail about them later. But genuinely, the favorite game that I had that I was able to play at the convention, I played Saturday night. And I played with several different people. I played with Jeff and Jamie, Emily, Danielle. I played with Derek Funkhauser. I played with Ryan from X vs. Meeple. There was a handful of people that hopped in and out as we went on. Some people that I don't know and that I'm forgetting, of course, so I apologize if you're watching this. But we played Strike. Strike. That's it. I'd never played this game before. If you don't know what Strike is, it's by Ravensburger. It's literally a dice chucking game where I think the theme is like gladiatorial arena, but there's a dice in the middle and you're just trying to make matches or pairs or triples or whatever. And if you do so successfully, you take those out and leave whatever's left in there, move along, the next person goes. There's a few other specific rules that make things really fun. Like if you're able to empty out the Coliseum, the next person must roll all their dice, meaning if they have 7 dice and don't get any duplicates, which is possible because there's an X on the dice, then they lose, they're out. And it was just a really fun game of pushing your luck and dice rolling, and I think we played it 4 or 5 times, and like this is a must own for me. Like I have to buy this game. It was so fun. Anyone can play it. Like genuinely, I think Ellie, my not even 4-year-old, could play this. Now, of course, she may get upset when she gets out, or she may want to keep rolling dice when she's not allowed, whatever. But it was so fun, so simple, and it just made for a heck of a time. We were laughing, we were yelling, so much fun. Beyond that, we did play some other games. I played Riverside, I believe is what it's called, which is in Roll and Write. Doodle Dash, which those are by the same company. That was a lot of fun too. And again, I'm gonna have another video talking in depth about the games that I played. Oh, we played some 6-Nimmt. We played Green Always Wins, which is an upcoming 2022 prototype party game, whatever. Regardless, we'll get into that more later. The best game I played was genuinely Strike. It was so fun. It's gotta be that. So of the games that I played that aren't yet out, the one that I'm anticipating the most was definitely Tidal Blades 2. I knew a little bit about it coming in. I enjoyed Tidal Blades 1, even though I don't own it, and I've only played it one time. Tidal Blades 2 is really fun, and it gave me a lot of hope and promise for what I think it can deliver on. So again, not gonna go too in depth on that because it'll have its own specific video of Familiar Tales and the other games that I played, but I really like Tidal Blades 2 and I'm really looking forward to it. This is one of the regrets that we'll talk about later in another video, but the best food that I ate, it has to be Chipotle, right? No, genuinely the best food that I ate was dim sum, and then I also had some ramen, which was delicious. But like, unfortunately, those are the only 2 places that we ate while we were there. Oh, and there was a dessert place. Other than that, it was hotel breakfast, which was a croissant and a banana. Chipotle one night because all the fun, cool, fancy restaurants we wanted to go to were packed. And that was about it. We didn't even get to go to the Reading Terminal Market because we went one time and it was just swamped. We're like, no, we are not sitting in this congested of a hallway or waiting this long. It just wasn't gonna happen. But it was a good time. We ate some good food, but like, I want to eat better food next time. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just read off of a script here because I will miss someone otherwise, and I'm probably going to miss people anyways. But I did want to just briefly run through the people that I met. If you're watching, I really enjoyed our time that we spent together, and I hope that I'm able to spend more time with you in the future. But the people that we met, Jeff and Jamie from Foster the Meeple, we met Ilya and Tyler from Kavre, we met Jazz from Lobby of Hobbies, Sarah from our Discord Asuga Kia, Monique and Naveen from Before You Play, Luna from Aspie Gamer Girl, Michelle and Billy from Second Star to the Left, there was Bryce, there was Jenna, there was Kevin, there was Ruby, there was Antonio from our Discord, James and Matt from Skybound, Ryan from X vs. Meeple, Derek Funkhauser, Chris from Charity Board Gamer, Jason from Shelf Stories, Suzanne from the Dice Tower and Restoration Games, Rain and Phil from 1 Minute Board Games, Benita, Alex from Board Game Co., Jesse and Shira, of course, from Quackalope, Jan, formerly known as Quackalope, Danny from Danny Plays Games, Robert, Derek, Dave from Board Game Dave, Jeff from the Dragon's Tomb, and many more. I'm sure there's people that I'm forgetting. I'm sure there's people that I saw. There's plenty of people that I saw. I saw Mick and Starla, but I was like a little starstruck. I didn't introduce myself. I saw like Danny from Pandasaurus, but I didn't see a chance to stop them. There was tons of people that I saw that I wasn't able to or didn't find the time or was too scared to introduce myself, but everyone that just gave me a moment of their time to hug, to talk, to introduce myself, like, it means the world. It's so appreciated, and I hope that you know that. And I hope that we can spend more time talking and playing games at future conventions. Now, to the most exciting purchase of the convention is funny because I didn't really buy anything. I know, right? Like, that's kind of shocking, and I wish I would have, but I couldn't really. So my wife actually just took a different job, which is so much better. She loves it. It's so much better for her mental health. She really likes this job, but it was a pretty significant pay cut. That combined with Christmas gifts galore for everyone, for family and friends, we just didn't have a ton of money this convention. So we drove up. We didn't take a flight to save money. We did stay at a hotel because we got a pretty cheap one, but we just didn't have a lot of spending money. So I did buy Buried Treasure from Restoration Games. We played that one time at 2-player, and Danielle had the pleasure of playing it at 4. Super fun, like Haiti card drafting game with cute art about pies and critters like skunks and squirrels and raccoons and possums, and that was a joy. I really liked that. I bought another game which I won't mention in the video because if my brother and his partners are watching, they'll be spoiled as to a Christmas gift for them. You'll see it later maybe. Ask me in the comments and I'll reply to you what it was because they probably won't go diving for the comments. Or if you are watching this, Sam, Tyler, Brendan, don't go diving for the comments, okay? Okay, don't do it. And that was it. Buried Treasure was the only game that I bought for myself the entire convention. Oh, that's not true. I bought Parks Memories for Danielle. But that was it. I really wanted Radlands because I own the normal version, but I wanted the super deluxe version. I really wanted Bitoku, but it's something that probably would never really get played because it's heavy. Maybe it would. I don't know. Jeff and Jamie got me Luna Capital for Christmas, so just as a gift. Really looking forward to that. That was one that I wanted also. Plenty of stuff I wanted to buy, but you know, money. Maybe next time we'll have more of a savings built up in preparation for the convention, but this time it was kind of last minute, didn't really have a whole lot of planning done. So Buried Treasure was great though. I'm excited about that buy. It's no diss on Buried Treasure. We just didn't buy a lot. And then a couple things that I want to do better next time. This isn't going to be, I'm going to go a little more in depth, speak more on it in a future video about things that I learned, things that I want to do more of. But in general, I just want to meet more people and play more games. There were people that I was too nervous to go up to and say hi. There's people that I only stopped to say, you know, literally, hi, nice to meet you finally. And that was it. There were people that seemed busy, and instead of waiting around to introduce myself, I just left and said, I'll do it next time. And of course that didn't actually happen. I just want to introduce myself to more people and play more games with people and make more friends. That would be my ultimate thing that I want to do better next time. And then lastly, just as like a takeaway, I don't know why I felt compelled to say this, to write it down, to tell you just a single sentence or two about how I really felt about the convention, kind of all bundled up into one. Board games are why we're here, but the people are why we stay. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please come back next time, like and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Max, this has been Tablenauts, and I'll see you next time at the table.